Good morning students. Today let us learn history from 10th class, unit 1, Advent of Europeans to India. In our previous lesson we learnt about Advent of Europeans to India by land route, regarding Arab merchants, regarding Italian merchants, Constantinople, capital of Byzantine Empire. Then we learnt the capture of Constantinople by Turks. Then we learnt about the discovery of sea route by Vasco da Gama to India. In our previous video we also learned that India is famous for its spices. All European countries used to make a lot of profit having a trade with India or having a spice trade with India. So today let us see the second part of that lesson. Today we learn about European trading companies. With the success of Portuguese, Dutch, French, English arrived at India for trade. The Portuguese, they found out or they discovered sea route to India. Vasco da Gama reached Calicut. Portuguese came to India. They started their spice trade here, followed by Dutch, French and English to trade with India. The development not only changed the history of India, it also changed the history of European countries too. So let us learn about Portuguese. Portuguese were the first to arrive at India for the trade and were also the last to leave India by the sea route or on the sea route. They are the first people. Because Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India, because of that they are the first people to reach India for trade, and also they are the last people to leave the India. Even after independence also Goa was under their control. Isn't it? So they are the last people to leave the India. After Vasco da Gama, Francisco de Almeida arrived in India as the Viceroy of Portuguese. He implemented Blue Water Policy. This is very important for the examination point of view. They may ask, who implemented Blue Water Policy? You are right, your answer is the Francisco de Almeida introduced the Blue Water Policy. What is Blue Water Policy? Let us see. In order to establish the supremacy over the sea instead of supremacy over the land. Other countries want to have supremacy over the land, but the Francisco de Almeida, he brought a Blue Water Policy. What is that policy? To have complete control on the sea routes, because in those days the business used to take place through the sea routes only. Alfonso de Albuquerque, who came after Almeida, is considered as the real founder of Portuguese Empire in India, because he was an efficient administrator. He waged a battle against Sultan of Bijapur in 1510 and won Goa. He fought with the Sultan of Bijapur in 1510 and he captured Goa from Sultan of Bijapur in 1510. You are seeing the picture now of Alfonso de Albuquerque. Since he captured Goa from Bijapur Sultan, now Goa became the administrative center of Portuguese administration in India. In Delhi is the capital of India, no? Like that, the Goa became the administrative center of the Portuguese administration in India. Where is Goa? It is in the southern India. You can see it here. This is Goa. The Portuguese had absolute monopoly over the trade with India. for almost a century, and their power declined with the arrival of English and French. They had complete control over spice trade. How many years? 1 century, nearly 100 years. Slowly their power declined as the French and English arrived to India. After Portuguese, Dutch came to India. The Dutch are from Holland or Netherlands. They established United Dutch East India Company in 1602. Don't think that only English East India Company is there. There is Dutch East India Company, French East India Company, Danish East India Company, Portugal East India Company. So many companies are there. The Dutch established the Dutch United East India Company in 1602 with the aim of doing business with the eastern countries and entered countries like India, Java, Sumatra, Indonesia and spice-rich islands. So picture, you can see here the Dutch are coming in a ship. They have established their warehouses. Warehouses means godowns in different parts of India. Let us see where are those. Surat, Bharuch, Cambay, Cochin, Nagapattinam, Machilipatnam and Chinsur. Some other places also they have established their warehouses. Warehouses means godowns where they used to keep their goods. With this, they broke the monopoly of Portuguese in India. Earlier, only Portuguese sailors used to have complete control over the trade. Now, Dutch entered into the business and they established their warehouses in Surat, Bharuch, Cambay, Cochin, Nagapattinam, Machilipatnam, Chinsur and other places in India. With this, they broke the monopoly of Portuguese. Means now Portuguese lost their control, complete control over the trade, spice trade. Later, unable to face the competition from English and French, Dutch limited themselves to spice-rich islands. Dutch power also declined when English and French entered into the competition. Now let us see some of the places which were under the control of Dutch. You can see in this India map, this is Surat, Bharuch and here Cochin and Machilipatnam. Here the Machilipatnam will come, Machilipatnam and other some parts of West Bengal, present West Bengal. So these are all what you are seeing, yellow, green and red, blue. These are all the warehouses of Dutch in India. Now, in 16th century, on December 31st, Queen Elizabeth issued a royal charter authorization to East India Company to trade with eastern countries for 15 years. East India Company is a private company. So Queen Elizabeth on 31st December, she gave permission to have a trade with the eastern countries. How many years? For 15 years. The company started the business formally in 1613. The Mughal Emperor Jahangir issued a royal permission to establish their first warehouse of factory at Surat. In 16th century, on 31st December, Queen Elizabeth issued permission to the East India Company to have a trade with eastern countries, not only India, for 15 years. Then the company actually started their business in 1613. The Mughal Emperor Jahangir issued a royal permission. He gave a permission to English to establish their first warehouse factory in Surat. Surat, present Gujarat, it is in Gujarat. In 1617, Sir Thomas Roe arrived at the court of Jahangir as the royal ambassador from the court of James I. He sought permission from Jahangir to establish factories other places of Mughal Empire. English established their factories in Agra, Ahmedabad, Bharuch. In 1639, English took Madras from the king of Chandragiri and established a fort named St. George. English established factories not only in Bharuch, and also English established their factories in Agra, Ahmedabad, Bharuch. Most of them are, Agra is near Delhi, Ahmedabad and Bharuch are in Gujarat. In 1639, the English took Madras from the king of Chandragiri. Madras was under control of Chandragiri prior to 1639. They took it from that king and established a strong fort named as George. Later, Charles II, the Prince of England, gave Bombay as an annual rent of £10 a year to East India Company in 1668. This Charles II, Bombay was under control of Charles II. He thought it's useless because its small 3 islands were there. What he did, for £10 per year, he gave it to East India Company in 1668. In 1690, the English purchased the 3 villages, namely Sutanuti, Kalikata and Govindapur on the banks of Hooghly River and built Fort Williams, present Calcutta it is. West Bengal capital city is there, no, Calcutta. There they built Fort Williams. He is Charles II. And what you are seeing now, it is the Fort Williams, which is built on the Hooghly River. Hooghly River is flowing in West Bengal. On the banks of this, Calcutta has developed. Prior to that, it was only a village. The British built Fort Williams here on the banks of Hooghly River. The city of Calcutta grew around this by 17th century. English established Bombay, Madras and Calcutta as the center of their residencies. The cities like Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, they have become headquarters of East India Company. By the latter part of 18th century, English made Calcutta as their capital city. They implemented their own civil and criminal procedure code in the areas that were there under control. You can see this is the city of Calcutta. It is Howrah Bridge. You can see Fort Williams. Now after the English, French came to India. French East India Company started as a government-owned company in 1664. It started its first factory in Surat, that is in Gujarat, in the year 1668. Later they established its factories in Machilipattanam. Machilipattanam is in Andhra Pradesh. Chandranagar, Mahe, Karakaikalu, Kerala, Kasim Bazar and Balasur, it is in West Bengal. In 1674, French took Valikanandapuram from a local Muslim official and developed it as a major trade center. That center is present Puducherry or Pondicherry. This is French East India Company. Dupleix, who arrived in Pondicherry as a Governor General of French, had the high ambitions of establishing French as a major power in South India. This ambition led to Carnatic wars with English. Dupleix was, you can see the picture of, he is Dupleix. He is very ambitious man. He came as a governor from France. He wanted to establish a powerful French colony in South India, because of which clashes took place between English and French and which led to Carnatic wars. You can see in this map French settlements, Pondicherry, Karaikalu, Yangon and Mahe, Chandranagar here is. Dear students and teachers, please like, share and subscribe, and also do comment in the comment section about the video. Your opinion is very important to me. Thank you for watching the video.